Hello Lightworkers, this is Kathleen McKay with another update from the Mothership, from my Mothership. Of course, this is a journey of sharing information and accessing information, but most importantly, this is a journey of coming into alignment with the guru that sits within us, so no guru outside of us. So certainly we need to be out there gathering information, sharing what information comes through us, but always, this is a journey to, as I said, deeper and deeper alignment with our own highest truth. So anyway, I offer this to you. In my last video, I talked a little bit about this concept of grounding up, and so that's what I wanted to share with you today. Some of the things that I've been coming to over the years around our way that many of us were taught to ground. And how that might be shifting with the ascension process, with the enlightenment process that a lot of us are on. So the what I call the old way of grounding. Now, understand, I have great respect for these systems and these tools that we were taught earlier on. God knows I used them, and they help me tremendously. But I do believe that as we evolve along this path, as we unfold more and more into beings of light, and less being these human beings, then I think that the systems and the protocols that once really served us very well, they're not going to work for us so much anymore. So, we need to be ready to, we need to be prepared to let go of a tool or anything that maybe once worked and once served us well, but in the presence of the next highest level of truth that we can access. For myself, it's been extremely important that I be willing to just let go of what I had previously held to be true in the presence of, because for myself, I'm always reaching for, moving toward, unfolding into the highest level of truth, the most expanded truth that I can currently access. So, enough about that. What's up with grounding? Here's the thing. Many of us were taught years ago to send a grounding cord down, this one, down from the root chakra, down into the earth, and find something at the center of the earth-ish to grab a hold of and get ourselves sort of locked in. Something to consider. What if Earth is a sentient being? Let's just say, of course we know this is true. Earth is a sentient being, or perhaps more accurately, a collection of sentient beings that has come together to have this grand experience of providing a home for all these different life forms. So let's look at it this way. We'll refer to Earth as a singular in terms of, sentient being. Let's just say that Earth is a sentient being on its own ascension path, or we'll even say her own ascension path. Does it really serve us and our soul's growth? Does it really serve her growth for us to send these grounding cords down into her and lock onto her while she's just trying to move through her ascension path as well? We could go into this, I could talk for an hour just about this whole dynamic. I want to just offer that up. Does it really serve us anymore? Does it serve this being on her ascension path? Is it the most respectful way of connecting with this being? I feel no longer. And this came up many years ago for me. And I started to instead, ask. The way that I approached it first is I would just go and sort of stand barefoot on the earth, and I would just sort of say, show me what the most respectful, show me what right relationship with you is right now. Because I don't want to do this penetrative, sort of grasping, holding lock and load kind of thing with you anymore. It doesn't feel like the most respectful of your path, of my path. So show me what right relationship is. That whole thing about grounding and not using that again, that very penetrative grounding cord thing so much, it really threw me. You know, in my healing work and stuff, and grounding was such a huge part of it. But I just let myself kind of be in the kerfuffle. I let myself be in the great mystery that came from that sort of realization that I didn't want to do that style of grounding anymore. And I just let myself feel destabilized by it. I let myself kind of feel, oh my gosh, you know, what now? My next little evolution of that was, I called it horizontal grounding, where just that standing on the earth, I got a sense of the sort of proverbial, the roots or energy sort of moving out sort of more in kind of a flat, like a plane, a disc, just around the center of the earth or just below the center of the earth, just so that I still had that sense of stability, which I felt I really needed. So that was the evolution of that. And then, I want to share this with you. The next evolution was, my guides sort of showed me this sense of starting from center-ish, heart lower, heart high, this kind of area, that it was like a star here, expanding out in all directions, okay? If you can imagine that, and just try to sense it in yourself. A star deep in the center of the body here, and radiating out in all directions, simultaneously. So from a distance, you look like a star, right? Just this radiance. But what they showed me was, or what I began to see is, that each sort of thread of radiance or stream of light radiance, now throw this in too, it's not just that we're radiating light out, it's that we're drawing light in as well. It's happening simultaneously through those threads or those shafts of light. But let's just say radiating outward for now. Each of those light pathways that was radiating out became, so think about this, each one in all directions simultaneously, if you follow the thread, it became like a grounding cord, and it wasn't really a grounding cord anymore. What I sensed them more as were almost like stabilizing sort of threads, stabilizing columns. So just try to imagine that. This was really profound for me. These sort of directional pathways of light, and here was the still point right here. And if you can feel that, what you're going to suddenly feel is, whoa, I'm just totally balanced. I'm totally balanced at all times, totally stable. You can't tip in any direction because you've got these light pathways. You've got, let's just say, according to this, and this was directly, I got this image directly in response to saying to my guides, okay, help me out here. How do I, if I can't ground in that the way that I was taught, what's up? What do I do here? And this was sort of what I saw. So what if we can sort of look to more just being stabilized rather than that old sort of vertical thing of grounding? The other thing about that is the whole perception of vertical, of up, down, it's very earth-centric, it's very human-centric, it's very, exactly, polarity, duality-centric. There is no down into the earth and up into the sky, right? The reality is we're moving out of our attachment to that linear expression, that linear sort of hologram and illusion. The reality is we are these magnificent, multifoliate light beings, and there's aspects of your expanded self, my friend, that are creating galaxies and anchoring grids and frequencies, and it's just, you're massive. You're massive and spectacular. So perhaps this sense of more stabilizing through light perhaps is more reflective of who we really are and who we're unfolding into, that which we're unfolding into. The last thing that I wanted to say, what the continued evolution of this for me, what came in the last maybe year or so, was this idea of grounding up. So this kind of flies in the face of, I know some people right now are saying, oh, but we're supposed to stay, grounded in the physical body and everything. And again, whatever your path is, goodness knows, take what feels right from me, from anybody else. Take what feels right and let the rest go. Just totally let it go, because it's not in resonance with you. And like I said, it might just be that I'm a kook. So, but okay, let's just go with this for a second. Imagine all of the range of the levels of your being and who you really are and your expanded self. We know that we're not living into a great deal of that here on planet, this little incarnation on planet Earth right now. When you think of all of your parallel lives and your the expanded self that you are, and the multifold expression of that, we're really not rocking out at the highest levels here in these beings. We're going for it, which is great, but it's nothing close to what we really are. So for me, what excites me is this idea of, what if I were to ground up? What if I were to make that sort of a connection, that direct connection that we used to make down into the center of the earth with such precision and such determination and such energy? What if we were to do that up into the most expanded aspect of myself, my being that I can currently access, that I can currently work with? The aspect of my being that's going to stretch me, that is going to maintain a vibrational frequency that's going to cause me to really stretch, really open. That's what excites me right now, and that's what I think is grounding up. To withdraw my energy. This is the other thing, that old grounding thing. Earth is processing a lot of old energy, a lot of deep, old, pain body type energy. That, really, Earth on one level, lots of parts of Earth, they're just soaked with blood and tears. And a lot of it is from the human incarnational experience. So the Earth is processing a lot of that, and by locking ourselves into the Earth's ascension path, we're really continuing to loop into that. In the next video, I'm going to talk about this, about the human emotional body and how maybe this is not serving us quite so well anymore, locking in, looping in to the collective emotional body because of the monstrous pain bodies that are throbbing on planet Earth right now. That's the next video. But right now, think about that perhaps, how would it serve my growth more? By that I mean your growth, of course. How would it serve my growth now more to withdraw my energy a little bit more from the intensity of the illusion that is stirring up now with this ascension process? And would it perhaps serve my growth path better? That is to say, would I be a better servant then of all life, of all beings? If I were to anchor my energy at the highest levels possible. And that is what I call grounding up. So, some things to think about, some things perhaps to work with, some visualizations maybe to work with as well for you. I hope that it serves you well. That's the purpose of these, is just to share those little bits of information that might serve you on your ascension path. All is well. It's a wonderful, wonderful game, and I'm so happy to be connecting with you in this way. Thank you so much for your emails and your letters of support. I love them, and I love you. Yes, I do, even though we've never met. I love you. Till next time, my friend, journey well.